Yes. So this one where?
Green.
This?
Green. Go to the side. Go.
On this.
And go to keys. Document.
Where? This?
All right, full screen. Play. All right, so the course is entitled Make a Note, Church Music Theory and Practical. Please make a note of that. So we're going to be covering sound, pitch notation, scales, relative pitch, pitch modification and keys. And the whole aim of this is for you to be a good song leader who can read the music in a songbook and can lead the song with the appropriate timing and pitch to edify and strengthen the brethren through music in the worship of the church. That's the whole aim of it. The aim is that you should be able to look at the songbook and know, picture the song, know the time signature, hand movements, so that you are able to lead the congregation in their singing. Because song leading, I must point out, is not a performance. Song leading is exactly what it says. You're seeking to lead the church in worship through music, right? And it's not, you're not on stage. You're not performing. You are leading. It's just like leading in prayer, Lord's Supper, any other aspects of worship. Right? What you're saying?
No, I was just adding to what you're saying. I'm saying it's a serious matter.
Yeah, it's a serious matter. Because music, you know, at the prison they ask them, why don't you clap? Why don't you clap? Well, I say, well, you know, clapping adds nothing to edify. Because when we sing, we seek to edify, motivate brethren, and of course we sing praises to Almighty God. We make melody in our hearts to the Lord, and clapping has nothing to do with that. Clapping cannot teach anybody anything. What, you got this?
Yes.
In addition, we're going to be doing song leading practical, looking at the time signature, and we'll add topics to this list as we proceed. So I really want to hammer home to everybody, if you're a preacher, in fact, if you're a man, you need to know to lead singing. You're a male, because at some time, you're going to be called upon to do it. And especially preachers. Preachers need to be good song leaders who can train their men to be song leaders. And therefore, you yourself need to get this matter under your belt. All right? What are some of the challenges that you face as a song leader for those who are doing a lot of it? I heard the late singing recently, Brother Tito. What are some of the challenges?
But that most times you're
And since we have our audience, please speak loudly.
the fact that most times you're the only one saying really participating probably.
Sometimes a lot of people are not singing, right? Which is a very important point. The religious world, Christian religious world, has gotten into the habits of seeing praise teams performing on a platform. And listen to the organ playing and watching the band play. What is the impact of this? The impact of this is that the music in denominational churches often becomes a performance by a few artists, and people stop singing and they start watching. So after a while, the song leader is putting on a performance, and some song leaders have gotten trapped into this way of leading singing, where they're performing. And that's not right. So as a song leader, you should be focusing, yes, on leading the song, but encourage the members through your comments to sing. And at various times in between songs, come on, brethren, let's all join in the song. And I find that, well, I find when I'm leading singing and doing that, it encourages more people to sing. You don't want to be abusive, but you just want to encourage them. Say, brethren, in the church, a cappella singing is everybody sing, even when you can't sing well. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think,
Loudly.
I think one of the problems that we also have in leading song is that some of the songs are choruses that we tend to start off with. The members don't know the songs. So if we could put together a meeting sometime in the week where we could come together and learn some of these songs, so that on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, when we are doing song leading, you know, we can catch on.
Well, the issue that Brother Orain has raised is that some members do not know the songs. Okay? Well, if you worship enough, you'll realize that you always come across songs that you personally don't know as a member of the audience. That's it. Your job is to pick it up just like that. That's your job. Your job is after the first verse to start to sing the second stanza based on what you have just heard. Because many songs, we hear them for the first time in the assembly. So you want to say to people that, look, if you don't know, as you go along, you pick it up. Because after a while, that's when you learn a new song. Okay, but the congregation needs to have singing practice regularly. I know churches every month have inspiration because that's when they teach a lot of new songs. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Ray.
Yeah, I was saying what I would rather do, or what I would do, is that I normally told them that, listen, you don't know the song, I'm going to sing that song twice before, if I'm doing what they call those type of songs. When you say change from one song to the next.
Medley?
Medley. If you're singing a medley, we can sing the song twice before we change. So
right.
Saying,
so they can learn.
What a mighty God we serve. We sing it twice and then we move on. And if the song's in sync, we can come back and then go forward.
Right. Okay, fine. That would help. Yes, brother Isho. Everybody, please speak loudly for our audience. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes the congregation doesn't is the way that you start. Because I led some many churches, like I think, but I have one congregation and it's on about 4 times. But they always say I did well.
You know what? You did well.
Yes, but the problem is for me, I not really feel like I did a good job. Because them just sit and sing. You ask them to stand, them like they have many things.
All right.
That is a big problem for me.
Right.
Like if you're talking to somebody, like you in front of me, you talk to me. I didn't like that. That's me. You don't interest me.
All right.
What I'm doing.
So the song leader's job. The song leader's job.
Another thing. You
just a moment. Let me leave that. The song leader's job then is to engender a worshipful spirit through your loving comments. Okay? And it will take a bit of time, to get this in place. Right? But you are a leader. A song leader, It's a leader's lead. Leaders lead. Leaders motivate. Leaders set an example. Leaders set the tone. Okay? So you have to become a psychologist, a motivator, an exhorter in these matters. Yes, your other point.
Yeah, you said to encourage the members. Sometimes when you do that, you encourage somebody, you discourage somebody. Because I saw that some time ago.
Yes, but we learn as Christians to speak the truth in love, and the song leader must do that.
Yeah,
speak the truth in love. Do you know what I'm talking about, brother Sherwood? Speak. In other words, you must learn how to love. Your word be seasoned with salt. So even when you're exhorting or even when you're correcting, you do it in such a way to let people know that we love you. Let's do this for God. Okay?
Yeah. Like I said in the back, if you ask me to go and defend, but I don't want to do that. Can you force me?
No, you can't. You can't.
Come.
No.
When you do that, that affect me and that affect.
Right. And of course, we know what we're talking about, and what happened in that setting wasn't right. And I wasn't here, but I realized it wasn't right, and I made my views very clear. But anyway, sound. If you go to the moon, sound does not travel across the atmosphere of the moon. If you're walking on the moon and you're shouting through a speaker to somebody across the way, they would not hear you. Why?
Because there is no atmosphere at noon.
Because?
There is no atmosphere at noon.
I didn't hear that.
No atmosphere. No atmosphere.
No atmosphere at noon.
Right. In other words, sound is transmitted through molecules, through substances. right? The word sound needs a material to go through. Sound waves are created through vibrations. And the vibrations of the air particles from my voice to your ear is what creates sound. Without that material for vibration, there is no sound. So, depending on the material through which sound is passing, the quality of the sound is affected. Have you ever gone underwater and clapped?
Yes, I've tried that
Eh?
many times. Yes, I've tried that many times.
And what is it? The sound is different, right?
Yeah, you cannot actually clap underwater. You can't.
You can't hear it.
Hmm?
You don't hear it.
Yeah, it's the sound because it's transmitted through water.
You just hear it.
And so the water molecules are different from the air, the molecules that make up the air. Okay? Okay. Now, in the auditorium, you have sound going through the air. That's one thing that's taking place. And then it reaches your eardrum, and it causes vibrations in your eardrum, and your brain interprets those vibrations. Okay? Now, sound also, the sound waves are reflected off the walls of the auditorium or the room that you're in. So let us say we are in this room now, and I'm talking. The sound waves are going through the air, reaching your eardrum, but at the same time, some sound waves are going on the wall, on the ceiling, bouncing off the wall, reflecting off the ceiling, and going to your eardrum. And that creates an effect called resonance. Make a note of that. That creates an effect called resonance. R-E-S-O-N-A-N-C-E. So a resonance, the effect of resonance is like a slight echo. A slight echo effect. So it's like your voice is booming a bit. But it's booming because the sound waves that go directly to your ear are interacting with the sound waves that bounce off the wall. So, today we are going to do the Christ for Jamaica radio program for the first time in the studio. For the first time at 2 o'clock. Now, one of the problems we're going to face in doing it in the studio is resonance. Absolutely. We're going to have the problem of resonance. This is going to be an echo effect. Because when we're speaking on the microphone, some sound waves are going to go directly to the microphone, and other sound waves are going to hit off the wall of the studio and go to the microphone. And that's going to create a slight echo effect.
The question is,
Which is resonance. Right? So how does that play out in song leading? It helps in that when an auditorium has walls where there's this reflection of the sound, it enhances the singing, the effect, the sound of the singing of the audience. It enhances that resonance actually does something for the congregational singing. say congregation sing in this room, for example, is more pleasing than congregation sing in the auditorium. Why? Because the walls are nearer and the resonant effect is more powerful. Right? So resonance does help. Does help. Anyway, let's go to our PowerPoint. Sound is produced when objects vibrate. When objects vibrate. Correct that for me. All right, let's leave it. Sound is produced as a result of vibrations. So when our vocal cords, when our vocal cord vibrates, it produces sound. And this sound can be musical sound or not. Make a note of this sound. You have it already?
Yes.
Right. Everybody has it? Yes. Right. So the sound can be musical or non-musical. So you as a song leader can sound musical or you can sound non-musical. Well, Tita knows all about that. Now, Tita is now more musical than non-musical, right? But everybody starts off non-musical. I mean, nobody sings perfectly the first time they sing, right? You gradually improve.
Some don't.
Right? Some don't? All right. What are you saying, brother? Richard?
No, I was saying.
Okay. Now, noise is produced by irregular vibrations. And noise can be produced by your voice. If you're not holding a pitch properly, if you're not holding the notes, singing notes properly, it can sound terrible. So noise is irregular vibrations. And the voice can produce irregular vibrations. An instrument can produce, and sometimes the congregation can produce irregular vibrations. You ever had a situation, a congregation where you are leading song at one particular pitch, you have started off at a particular pitch, and the congregation started off at another?
Yes, sir. That happened to me most times.
Most? That's right. So that is why when you're leading singing, that opening note over that PA system must be very, very strong. So the congregation can immediately pick up what is the pitch of the song you're singing.
Sir, the problem I face at my congregation, when you have a
Let's turn it. You don't have to listen.
tempo.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. The problem I face at my congregation, when you have a high tempo song, and you are singing fast enough, but the others not singing that pace. So it kind of gave me, it discouraged me.
Right, so that is why this hand movement that we are teaching in class is so vital. The 4/4, 3/4, 2/4. It's a matter of me teaching you. In fact, I was watching recently the marriage ceremony for the two ladies, Meghan and Harry. Right, I was watching it on television, TVJ or CBM had something. So I was watching it, and there was a time when the choir, the Anglican choir, was singing, and the choir leader actually came down, and the choir was on either side, and he was hand leading, right? In fact, if you look at orchestras, you see orchestras have a director, And they're marking time. Why? Because people need to know the timing of the song and they need to sing according to time. So that's what he's trying to do. That's what song leaders are supposed to be doing. So when you just get ready to start to sing like that, you're performing. Come on. You're leading. Part of the matter of hand time is to lead so that people know the pace of that song. Now, of course, we may have been in the habit of not doing this, therefore we're not accustomed to it. And that is normal. Not accustomed to something, feel uncomfortable doing it. But I'm just saying, that is how the matter is corrected, Richard.
Yes.
The matter is corrected through the hand movements. That's how it's corrected. Okay. Now, music. When you hear good music, it's pleasing to the ear. Pleasing. Music is always about pleasing songs. Pleasing songs. You may hear us. I remember going to Haiti, Capacia, and I've been there several times. And I went into the compound of the Capacian congregation. And as I entered the compound, it was sometime around 6 o'clock in the evening. And I entered the compound, and I heard the most beautiful a cappella singing from a choral group in one of the rooms on the compound. And I didn't understand a word they were singing. But it was so beautiful that I went in the room and sat down and listened. I said, man, this is lovely. But I didn't understand the word they were singing. But they were putting out good music. Music. Because good music in whatever language sounds good. Sounds good. And that's a key. That's a key. So you as a song leader wants to get the congregation to sound good. And the church must pay attention to congregational singing and have regular practices for the members so that it can sound so for the non-Christian sitting in the audience, man, it sounds great. I mean, that's what Mona Capella does. Mona Capella does that for concerts, but generally speaking, a congregation will not sound good until they do a lot of practicing. They've got to practice. And it's done through teaching by the song leader. So sounds produced by regular and repeated vibrations are what they call pleasing songs. Pleasing songs. All right, I'm going to stop here because I need to leave a little early and come back. But what have we learned today?
The song leader is to lead.
The song leader is to lead. May I emphasize that? Lead, not perform. Lead. Your job is to lead the congregation in singing. Your job is not to let the congregation watch you sing. If they're watching you sing, you're not leading. Just like, let's say I'm teaching. And one of the things we must learn when teaching is this. You have not taught until people have learned. I could get up in the congregation or I get up and I can talk. if people don't understand what I'm saying, I am not taught. I've spoken. I'm taught. So as a preacher must also be a teacher. People must learn from you. God, the Bible says that 2 Timothy chapter 4 says that we preach and we teach. So, song leading, you lead. What else have you learned?
Song leading is not a performance.
Not a performance, right?
The aim of a song leader is to edify, to strengthen the brethren.
Right, and to get them to sing in praise to Almighty God. Well, Enrico, what have you learned?
Song is produced when.
What's that?
Song is produced when objects vibrate.
When there's substance, when there's vibration. And if there's no substance to vibrate, there's no sound.
No.
Good.
Noise is produced by irregular vibration.
Right. Regular vibration. Now, you guys, I want you to go online. That's a wonderful thing about the internet. And Google. Go online and research sound music. You can learn far more than I could ever teach you online now. Right? Don't just depend on what I say here. I'm the sort of guiding you. Get online and research and learn. Okay? Okay. You shall lead us in prayer, please.
Also, I just identify the giving also for this opportunity that we give us to come and learn more about how to lead the song. And we ask you, Lord, to help us to practice and we will well, Father. We control in our life. Bless us in the name of your Son, Jesus.
Amen. No, I must say that the sister Davis has died and she's a former member of staff. And we all are required to sing at the funeral. Okay? To sing at the funeral. Everybody. We may or may not join the Monarch Cabaret, it depends. But we all are required to sing. All right? As part of our expression of sympathy to the family. Okay? And it seems